5.3, solving multi-step inequalities. Essential question. What things do you need to write an inequality for a word problem? So this lesson will be all about inequality word problems. All right, Sarah has $85 and wants to buy jeans and a scarf online. If she spends $49 on the jeans and tax and shipping costs $12, how much would she have left for the scarf? Now in this lesson, we're going to use the acronym SUI for some of the examples, but not all of them. As we get to more difficult word problems, which we're going to in this lesson, it works for some problems, but not others. I would say in general, if you're dealing with a problem with money, it should work out to use SUI. So remember, SUI represents, starts with, operation, unknown, inequality, and ends with. Okay, so let's start with what we're buying. So if you hypothetically say you're walking around in the store and the first item you see is the $49 jeans. So I'm going to start with putting the $49 jeans in my cart. Then, actually we're buying online, so in her online cart, I guess. Okay, and then also we have to pay tax or shipping, which is going to cost us $12. So those are the two amounts we're spending. Now in order to find the total that I spent, I've got to add those two together. So my operation is going to be addition. I want to also buy a scarf. I don't know how much the scarf costs, so I'm going to put an S here, and that's going to represent my scarf. So how much can I spend on a scarf? Now I have, ready to pay, I have $85 to spend. So that's going to be my ends with. If I have $85 to spend, that means I can't spend more than $85. So that will be less than or equal to. All right, so then if I write my inequality, I have the $49 jeans plus the $12 shipping plus my scarf that I want to buy, and all of that has to be less than or equal to $85. So 49 and 12, if I add them together, would be 61. And then if I subtract 61 on both sides, I have S is less than or equal to 24. So that means that I can spend $24 or less on a scarf. $24 or less on the scarf. All right, Dan has $800 in the bank and makes $12 an hour at his job. How many hours does he need to work to buy a car for $2,600? All right, SUI will also work for this problem. So I'm going to write out SUI. Okay, so let's see where we're starting with. So Dan already has $800 in the bank. So he's starting with $800. He makes $12 an hour at his job. Now that's the same as like $12 per hour. So he's making $12 per hour, which is multiplication. $12 times the number of hours he works. Because that's what I'm trying to figure out. How many hours does Dan have to work? He needs $26 in the or $2,600 in the end in order to be able to buy his car. So I have to ask myself, $2,600. Do I need exactly $2,600 more or less in order to be able to buy the car? Well, he has to have at least $2,600, which would be greater than or equal to. He cannot have less than that because otherwise he doesn't have enough money for the car. So then if I write my inequality, He already has $800, and add that on to the $12 per hour he's making at his job, and then that has to total more than or equal to 2,600. So let me move this over here a little bit, and I'm going to grab a calculator here. Alright, so we're trying to solve for h, so subtract 800 on both sides. So those cancel. And then 2,600 minus 800 is going to give me 1,800. Divide both sides by 12. And I have h is less than or equal to, or excuse me, greater than or equal to, I put the wrong inequality sign, let me switch that here. Sorry about that, can we rewrite this? So 12h is greater than or equal to 1,800, divide by 12. So h is greater than or equal to 150. So that means Dan has to work 150 hours or more at his job in order to purchase the car. 150 hours or more. Okay. Tickets for a game cost $18 each. You buy 3 tickets and 5 t-shirts, and t-shirts are $12 a piece. If you have $96, how many t-shirts can you buy? So once again, Sui should work for this. Okay. So it says game tickets are $18 each and you buy 3 of them. So we already know, okay, so 1 ticket is 18. If I'm multiplying that by 3, because I want to buy 3 tickets, or it's saying that I'm already buying 3 tickets, 18 times 3 gives me 54. So that's where I'm starting with. That's what I purchased. It also says that t-shirts, so maybe I'll put this right here is for the tickets. And then it also tells me that I can buy a shirt for 12. It doesn't say how many shirts we're buying, it just says that a shirt is $12. Okay, I have $96 to spend. So in the end, when I pay the cash register, I have $96 in my pocket. How many t-shirts can I buy? So we are going to solve for t-shirts. Alright, if I have $96 to spend, I cannot spend more than that. So less than or equal to. Now operations, I'm spending 54 on the tickets, and then to that I need to add the $12 per shirt. Per would mean multiplication, $12 times the number of shirts I buy. So I bought my 3 game tickets for $54. I want to buy $12 shirts, $12 t-shirts, and I have to spend less than or equal to $96. So how many t-shirts can I buy? So subtract 54 on both sides. So 12t is less than or equal to 42. And then 42 divided by 12 is 3.5. Now if I think about that logically, I don't want to buy half of a t-shirt. I don't want 3.5 t-shirts. That's not going to do me any good. So, do I have enough money to round up to 4 t-shirts? No, that would be more than $96. So I can buy 3 or fewer t-shirts. So that's one where that number matters. When you end up with a decimal, you can't have half of a shirt. You have to think about that logically. Okay. All right. In order to get an A in math, you need 90% or higher. if your first four test scores are 84, 93, 88, and 90, what do you need to get on your last test? And actually, now that I look at this, we can still use SUI for some of it, but this will be the hardest one to use SUI for. So I'll try, and we'll see what we come up with here. Okay, so let's pretend. All right, I took my first test. What did I get? I got an 84. I took my second test. What did I get? I got a 93. I took my third test. I got an 88. I took my fourth test. I got a 90. Okay. What do I need to get on my last test? Let's put a T for test. All right. Now keep in mind that this is thinking about if you need in order to get an A, you need a 90%. So I have to end with 90% or higher. So my scores have to be 90 or above in order to get an A. Now if you know how test scores work, it's an all-in average. You need to average out to 90%. So this problem is really talking about average. Now we know average is the same as mean, meaning you add up all the numbers and then you divide by how many there are. So we have to do two things. We need to do addition and we need to do division. So if I add up all my test scores, so 84 plus 93 plus 88 plus 90 plus my unknown score, my T, and then I divide them all. How many tests were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in all. That number has to be greater than or equal to 90. So we're trying to find that the average of our test has to be 90 or higher. So let's start simplifying here. I'm going to take all those top numbers and divide them. So 84 plus 93 plus 88 plus 90. So that gives me 355 plus T divided by 5 is greater than or equal to 90. Now, how do I solve this? Well, let's get rid of that 5 on the bottom of our fraction first. Get rid of our fraction. So times both sides by 5. So then I'm left with 355 plus T is greater than or equal to, and then 90 times 5 is 450. Subtract both sides by 355. And then I have T is greater than or equal to 450 minus 355 is 95. So that means this person needs to get a 95 or higher on the last test in order to get an A in math. Summary.